This tutorial will walk you through the New Hampshire State Council on the Arts online application for Folklife and Traditional Arts Project grants. The tutorial assumes that you've already created a free account at submittable.com and have logged into the system. Before we get into the form, there are a few things you should know about Submittable. First, it is strongly recommended that you complete the application using Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox. If you don't have either of these browsers, they're easy to find with an internet search. Second, the Submittable system is very stable and will auto-save your application, but we recommend that you save your application manually every 15 minutes or so, just in case. There's a Save Draft button at the bottom of the application that you can scroll down to. Once you've saved your application, you can continue working on it or sign out. Your application will remain active for 21 days from your last login. And finally, saving your application isn't the same thing as submitting it. You'll need to click the Submit button at the end of the application for us to receive it. Because you will be attaching documents to the online application, it is always best to complete them and save them on your computer before you start the application. There are 7 parts to the application, and I'll go through each one. Fields marked with asterisks are required, and the system won't let you submit your application if they aren't filled out. This is really important to remember. So the first section is the applicant data. This is the place where you're going to enter the applicant's information. If a project's being sponsored by a fiscal agent, the fiscal agent's information goes here. If an applicant's applying in partnership with another organization, the lead organization's information should be entered. Most of this is pretty straightforward, but there are a few areas I want to mention. The first is this codes area. These codes are required by our partner, the National Endowment for the Arts. You'll actually do this twice in the application, once here and once in the project information area. You should note that there is a code for non-arts, non-humanities organizations, which can be helpful for fiscal agents. Next, you're going to verify that the applicant has at least 1 year of arts programming. And if you have questions about this, please consult the grant coordinator. A Dun & Bradstreet or DUNS number is required of all applicants. This is really important. You will also have to answer some questions about your government certification. We don't require these letters up front, but we will require them if you get a grant. So you just need to tell us that you have them available. We require the New Hampshire Attorney General Letter of Good Standing, the Certificate of Good Standing that comes from the New Hampshire Secretary of State, and the organization's IRS determination letter. You'll answer some questions about staff, and you'll also include a fiscal summary for the applicant organization. The second section, payment, should only be filled out if payment is going to be made to someone other than the applicant organization. Same thing with the contact person. Only fill this out if the contact person is different from the authorized official that was listed in the applicant data section. Now we come to the grant request information. And the first thing that we want to know is whether we have funded this project before. And so you will tell us that. Then you will enter the project title or a summary and information about the project, including the arts discipline for the project. Again, those codes. Then we ask for some demographic information. The National Endowment for the Arts requires us to collect this data, and so we want you to answer these questions as best you can. Again, if you've got questions about these questions, please reach out to the grant coordinator. If you are going to be employing artists from one of our artist rosters, please make sure that you list their names in this box and code them appropriately. Section 5 is about accessibility. Each grantee is required to assure us that they're in compliance with Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973 and the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990. This section asks a series of questions relating to the facility and accessibility, and it requires you to upload a completed NEA brief accessibility checklist. And you can download that right from this link. The link is also in the guidelines for the grant program. You're going to fill it out and then upload it here. A few more questions about accessibility, and now we come to the document upload section. Each grant program requires different materials, so make sure that you've read the guidelines carefully and that you've completed all of those materials and have them located in a centralized location on your computer for easy upload. This really does make things easier, as I said before. Attaching documents to the application is just like attaching something to an email or uploading a photo to Facebook. You're going to click Choose Files. A little window is going to open from your computer. You're going to click the appropriate file, click Open, and it will be uploaded and attached to your application. I want to say something about files here. We prefer files in PDF format because there's no way they can be inadvertently edited. All word processing programs include an easy Save as PDF option, and spreadsheets can be saved as PDFs using the program's print dialog. We have a video tutorial about that on the grant page, so if you don't know how to save a spreadsheet as a PDF, watch that little video. So we've got uploads here of all required and some optional things. I want to say a word about financial statements. Whoops. What we're looking for here is the applicant organization's most recent end of fiscal year financial statement. We don't want the 990 or the audit, just the statement the board approved. And again, if you've got questions about this, ask the grant coordinator. More uploads, some are required, some are optional. Again, read the guidelines very carefully. And then we come to section 7, which is your digital signature. You're going to click Agree, type in your name, your title, and then you'll click Submit. So you finish the application, all of your documents are attached, you're going to click the Submit button. When you do that, the application will be submitted and you'll receive an email confirmation. If the system doesn't let you submit your application, you probably haven't answered all of the required questions and you'll need to go back up and see what you missed. If for some reason you accidentally submit your application before you're ready, please contact the grant coordinator. That person will be able to help you. So that's it. Please let us know if you have questions. We look forward to seeing your application. Thanks.